Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Family Shepherd Minute. Last week we talked about narcissistic behavior. This is part 2. I'm going to talk about eradicating narcissistic behavior. This session does not focus on the narcissistic person and in changing that person, but it focuses on some steps and some goals that you can do, that you can apply to yourself to help eradicate or move away a narcissistic person where they have no control over you. You see, a narcissistic person uses shame, anxiety to keep you in their class, in their crutches. And so you don't want to give in to that. A narcissistic person likes an emotional response from you. And so you don't want to give that kind of feedback to a narcissistic person, because all that does is build their ego and build their grandiosity and puts their big head in the clouds. And so the first step to eradicate narcissistic behavior is to build your self-esteem. Repeat after me. Build your self-esteem. What are you doing to build your self-esteem from the years of shame that you've been held under? And so you want to build your self-esteem. You are somebody. You are going somewhere. You have passions, dreams. You have things in the future, hopes. And those are the things you ought to be pushing yourself towards to. You can do it. Just remember, you've been taken advantage of. This is not something that is you just fell into. You've been taken advantage of. And so just remember that. Step number 2 is build goals. And now I'm going to talk about 7 goals, and I'm going to briefly go through them. Remember, this is not a substitute for therapy. I'm just giving you a quick tidbit of information. And so you can write these down and view this video later. And if you need help in establishing these goals or knowing how to navigate these goals, give me a call. My contact info will be on the slide on this video as we approach the end. And so 7 goals. Goal number 1, healing your toxic shame. Remember, the narcissistic person has been toxic and uses shame to belittle you and to put you at a state where you have no power. And so you need to heal from that. Face and heal your shame. Goal number 2, come back to reality. Been beat down so low that you've lost a sense of reality. And so now it's building your self-esteem, coming to a healthy sense of reality. Number 3, mastering your emotions. Instead of giving emotional feedback to the narcissistic person, it's mastering your emotions. And that means being able to express your emotions. Anger, guilt, sadness. Express them in a healthy manner. Number 4, developing a healthy, trained ego. Remember, a narcissistic person has an elevated sense of ego, and that is not healthy. A healthy ego is understanding who you are. A person understanding who they are and where they are in the grand scheme of things. Developing a healthy, independent sense of self. Independent means breaking away from narcissism, understanding who you are as a person and building that. Who do you fall back on when things become difficult? What do you fall back on? Do you have a support system to help you develop an independent sense of self? Number 6, establish firm boundaries. You see, a narcissistic person takes advantage of an individual. And in order to eradicate that, you have to establish firm boundaries. In other words, no, we're not going there. No, we're not doing that. Establishing boundaries around you so you fortify yourself. And these are not barriers. I'm not talking about building walls. I'm talking about knowing your left and right limits and allowing and communicating to that narcissistic person that you've crossed the boundary. And number 7, enjoying humanity. And maybe you've lost a sense of your passions and hopes and dreams, coming back to a reality of that and pushing forward towards those things. In other words, communicating your needs, your healthy needs and desires. A narcissistic person does not want to hear your needs or desires because it doesn't elevate them or fit their emotional needs. And so, just want to encourage you, you're not alone. There is help. Phone call away, reach out, leave your comments. We would like to hear from you. If we're reaching you, Family Life Center, 500 Pope Avenue, in the back of Pioneer Chapel. We're here for you. Reach out. Until we meet again next week with another topic on Family Shepherd Minute. See you soon.